Welcome to the Power of Abundance. My name is Dana Johnson, and we will be presenting to you today the the strength behind our community and why you should be a part of the power of abundance. If you have bills, this community is for you. So let's get started. We're going to get started with our disclaimer and to show you and educate you on what our do's and our don'ts are as we go through this presentation. We are not the creators. We do not own the system. We're volunteers. We want to be a part of it. We've learned so much, and we want to impart that information on you. We ask that you never advertise or post the community's name. You can share the power of abundance, but not the two platforms' names that we're using to leverage through a gifting activity. We ask that there's no social media blasting, emails, or anything of the community's name. This presentation is solely for informational purposes only. What we're sharing, what has been shared with us, we're givers. We're all gifters in this community. It is not my intention whatsoever to convince anyone to participate in this community. I just want to empower you, educate you so that you can make an educated decision at what direction you want to head. And we hope that you will decide to be a part of us. So we are sharing because you're also interested in just learning a little bit more. All funds and gifts received through this community are gifts. None of these that you will receive are considered
You're on mute, Dana.
okay, sorry. If you don't understand your purpose or know what your purpose is, you will fall for anything. And a lot of times people stay lost and not know what direction to head because they just don't understand their purpose. So our purpose here in this community is to create our own economy with like-minded individuals who are not going to depend on 9 to 5 to bail us out. Our 9 to 5 is wonderful. It pays the bills. But sometimes we have more days than we do have money. We're not going to depend on the government and their stimulus to bail us out because we found that those tend to put us all back in debt. It does not bail us out. They will not come to rescue you. So we must rescue ourselves. Now, when we talk about purpose, we want your gifts to have purpose. Name them. That's when things come alive. That's when you have ownership of what you do. That's what you have ownership of this community. So name your gifts. Is it for an investment? Start a new business. Maybe invest in yourself. You want to go back to school, but you do not want to be in debt from it. Maybe you want to take that much needed holiday with your children, with your family. You want to take that cushy ride on the airplane. You don't want to drive the 8 hours on the road. Yes, we love road trips. But the truth of the matter, most of us would prefer to just fly and get there and start enjoying. Maybe you want to use these gifts to pay off your debts. Uncle Sam you may owe Uncle Sam some money and you need to pay back that debt. Mr. Bill, the most faithful man there is on this universe, he comes every single month, the same time. He comes and he waits for you. He knows payday is coming. So let me wait until it's time for me to receive my monies. So you might want to get him out of your life. You might want to send him packing. What about buying that new home that you've dreamt of? Maybe rebuilding or upgrading your current location. What about sending your children to university or your grandchildren? When you have passed on to the next life, perhaps that picture on the mantle is going to pick up dust because they just don't know who you are. You've never contributed. You haven't left a legacy. But now they can go and dust off your picture because grandma and grandpa helped to send us through university to make us who we are. What are you going to name these gifts? maybe to just be a blessing to someone. Someone is hurting. They have way more days than they do have monies. And they've come to you and asked for help. But the kindness of your heart, you want to do it, but you just can't. You just don't have enough. So maybe that's what you're going to do with your gifts. The scripture says, remember this: whoever sows sparingly will reap sparingly, and whoever sows generously will also reap generously. Now you may ask, is gifting legal? Is this legal? I don't want to hear Uncle Sam coming to my door and I don't want to be in trouble. Well, the laws are there to protect us, but sometimes they're there to harm us. But this particular law that says that gifting is legal, the IRS publication 559 and 950 of the gifting tax law says receiving a gift of money is not a taxable event under the state nor the federal law. This is why it's important why I say this is not an income activity. It is a gifting activity. The recipient of a cash gift does not earn any income, which means there is no income tax due on the money received. The person who gives the cash gift may have to pay a federal gift tax if the gift is large enough. Now, what is large enough? Let me tell you, the laws for 2024 says that you can gift one recipient up to $18,000 in a tax year. Now, if it goes beyond that, then yes, we render unto Caesar what's due unto Caesar. A married couple, you can each gift one recipient up to $18,000 in a tax year. Or if it exceeds that, then you do have to file the necessary documents. But guess what? In our community, you are planting a seed of lousy $35. That's it. One time out of pocket. And I will show you that a bit further. Now, some people, because they do not understand what a pyramid scheme is or a Ponzi, they may open their mouth and say, that sounds like one of them pyramid schemes. Well, let me explain to you. Every day that you go to your 9 to 5 and there's nothing.
When I unmute, Dana.
The CEO at the top of the corporate ladder will always make more money than you. Always, regardless of what you do. Your supervisor will always make more monies than you. You may have even an employee next to you making more, and they say, don't tell them that we gave you $2 more than they did. That's a pyramid scheme, but we do it all the time. We all will receive the same amount of gifts per level that we reach through this community. No one will be gifted more than you. Now, this community started from a vision. We had another community that we were participating in, and we still are, that required $100. My dear friend Dwayne says, listen, some people just got hurt. Somebody stole millions of dollars from them, and we want them to feel safe and we want to help them. He said, I wish I could give it to everyone that I could think of to help. So, how can we help? Maybe let's do a $25 board. So, we found this community. I prayed about it. God sent some destiny helpers, and they said, yeah, we do know of a $25 platform that you can use to do this, but there is a $10 admin fee. In the second platform, there's no admin fee. But in this one, there's a fee because they need help with the servers and to maintain the system and do upgrades and things like that. So we joyfully give the donation of $10 to take care of that. The $25 starts you on the first level. The $25 in gift will yield 200 in gifts. Second level, you gift $100 from the upgrade that you receive from the 200. You gift that, and you have an opportunity to receive in gifts $800. On level 3, you have an opportunity to plant a seed of 500 out of profits, out of your gifts, out of your gifts. And so you can receive up to $4,000 in gifts. On level 4, you plant a seed of $1,000 in gifts. You have an opportunity to receive 8,000 in gifts. Level 5, you'll be able to plant a seed of 3,000. You will receive up to $4,000 in gifts. Everyone will start at the 25 level, but once you have committed and you've done your upgrade, your activation into the community of the $10, you started on the 25, then you may say, hey, I want to go to level 2, or I want to go straight to the second platform. It's up to you. Okay. But you will, on every level, on all 4 boards that I will show you, you will receive 8 gifts on each of those levels. You will follow your inviter on each level, and you will follow them all the way up on the board. Yes, the board will split off, but you'll come back on the same side of that inviter, making them. So this makes this a truly team effort amongst like-minded people. The system is automated. There are some things that you have to do manually. That is register. That is to start the upgrade. The system is going to tell you where to go, whom to gift on all levels. You do have to gift manually to the person. They must receive it in their hands. That protects you according to the tax guidelines as well, because they're in receipt of those gifts in their hands. And so we want to keep this tax-free community. So we're going to follow the gifting laws. This is what the board looks like. I am Eden Bless at the top of the board. I came in, I gifted my 35, and then I gifted, as I upgraded, I gifted onto the next level. So I came in, I gifted the 35. I made my way up to the top of the board. I received 8 gifts of $25. That's 200. But at first, one of my sides, I believe it was the left side, it filled up before the right side. So what happens is when that happens, it doesn't say wait for all 8 gifts. It says, no, you have enough to go forward, to gift forward to the next level. So go ahead and matriculate up to the higher level. So that's what I did. Now, these freshmen that came in on the bottom, our freshmen graduated and they became sophomores, all 4 of them on this side. The sophomores, the 2 sophomores on this side, graduated to become juniors across the board. Now, this junior right here, they now became the senior on their boards. And then when this side finished filling up, Bellagio then became the senior on this side. Triggy became the junior, and the freshmen here became the sophomores. Okay? And that's how it works. You only have to build or invite your people one time on when you first start this board. But the way that our community works is we're helping one another. We have what's called a merry-go-round. In the order that you come in, you go on the board, we close the board. If we have a builder that says, hey, I can bring more than 2, and I want to do that, they can then place their people when they become sophomores on the board, they can place their freshmen below them and they will follow them up. But I'll tell you, even builders need help from the community. So the merry-go-round has been helping us to move faster. We're not stuck waiting for somebody to come and bring their 2. Okay. Now, we have a $25 one-time gift that comes in that I showed you on the other board. I received 200 in gifts. I went back in again by planting $25 re-entry, which allows this to now become $200 perpetually. You may say 200 is not a lot, but it's the start. We've sown a seed, and that seed is germinating so you can harvest. You're going to take the 100 out of that 200 and you're going to upgrade onto this platform. Let's say that you then take the 25 and re-enter into the soil so you can reap another harvest. You have $75. You can do whatever you desire with that 75. You may say, I want to get onto that second platform. Go ahead and add 25 out of pocket onto that. You're going to get it back in gifts once you cycle again the second time. The second time, you'll receive the 200, you keep 175, you put 25 back on and do it again and again. This may serve as pocket money, gas money for the week, right? So these are our showers of blessings. So on the $100 board, you become a senior at the top of the board. You will receive 8 gifts of $100. That will give you $800 in gifts. Now, what you're going to do with your first fruits of this activity, you're going to take the first $500 and you're going to gift it up to the senior on the next level so that you can join that level. You can have a seat there so that when you matriculate through the levels and become a senior, now you can receive on that level. The first 500, the first 1,000, the first 3,000 all goes forward, okay? None of it belongs to you. If you pay a bill, if you eat it, if you take some retail therapy with it, you're stealing from the community, but you're also stealing from yourself. We ask that you gift forward on each of those levels. The last gift of $100 on the $100 board will get planted back into the $100 board so that you can do it again. As a farmer sows and reaps his harvest, he's going to plant back into that soil so he can reap another harvest. It may be a different crop that he plants, but he's going to plant it back into the soil. And so that's what that $100 represents for each of us. Now, you have $200 in hand to do whatever your heart's desire, all coming from a seed that was sown of $35. I'm going to show you how that seed is going to get even more. On the $500 board, you have an opportunity to receive 8 gifts of $500. That's $4,000. The first fruits of 1,000 is not yours to keep. You're going to pass it upward to the senior on the board, but that doesn't just give it to the senior. It opens up a seat for you on the $1,000 level to receive gifts. The last gift of 500 gets planted back into the soil, and you have an opportunity to receive up to 2,500 in hand to do whatever you want to do. Remember, we talked about purpose? Name that purpose. Is that a credit card? Maybe the retail therapy that you needed. Maybe a phone bill, gas, whatever. It's yours. On the $1,000 level, you have an opportunity to receive up to 8 gifts on that board. That's $8,000. You're going to take the first fruits of your labor of the 3,000 and you're going to plant it forward onto the $3,000 board so that you can do this again and again and that you can bless the senior on that board. You're going to take the last gift of 1,000, you're going to put it back into the soil so you can reap a harvest again. That's $4,000 that you will receive in gifts to do whatever your heart's desire. On the $3,000 board, you can receive up to 8 gifts on that board. That's $24,000. You're going to take the 3,000, the last 3,000 that you receive, and you're going to plant it back into the soil on the $3,000 level. That's $21,000 that you can do whatever your heart's desire. I don't care what you do with it. Uncle Sam can't touch you because they're gifts, and no one gave you over $18,000 in gift. So that's a total of $27,700 that you will receive in gifts to do whatever you want to do with. Now, remember you planted back into the soil. What happens to those gifts? Well, simple. On the $100 board, you will reap the harvest of 800 because you gift back into the community. That 700 is for you to keep and do whatever you desire to do with it. 100 gets planted back into the soil so that you can repeat it, duplicate it, manifest it. On the $500 board, you have an opportunity to receive 8 gifts of 500. That's $4,000. 3,500 is for you to do whatever your heart's desire. Then you're going to plant 500 back into the soil. On the $1,000 board, you have an opportunity to receive 8 gifts of 1,000. That's $8,000. You get to keep 7,000 to do whatever your heart's desire. Do with it whatever you wish. Whatever you named that purpose, that is for you. You're going to take the last 1,000 and you're going to plant it back into the soil to repeat the process again and again. On the $3,000 board, you can receive up to 8 gifts on that board. That's 24,000 that you can receive. That's 21,000 for you to do whatever you desire. Maybe a down payment on a new home. But you get to keep the last 3,000, you get to keep that moving by planting it back into the soil so that you can repeat this process over and over again. What a blessing from $35. On this board, you will yield in gifts $32,200. $32,200. What difference will that make in your life? Maybe it takes 3 months. Maybe it takes 6 months. Maybe it takes a year. I had a young lady says, if it takes 18 months, it's worth it. But it's up to you how fast we move through this process. Now, there's a second system, the one that I told you we started with, and we decided to start the $25 feeder for. It is also a private community that we cannot blast their name out publicly. This is for the US only because they hold strictly to the guidelines and the laws of the United States. It is a private gifting community. They were established in October 2009. Both communities have been around for over 15 years. They have blessed, this community has blessed over 188,000 people. They sustained themselves through the pandemic. There was a young lady, because of legal reasons, she could not work. Her bills still got paid. She still maintained a roof over her head and her children's head. Her car was never repossessed. Groceries stayed in the house, and it wasn't from the government giving her anything. This system is automated, just like the one I just shared with you before. We are not an MLM. We're not an investment, and you make no income from these activities. This is our building block. It's a 2x3 building block. At the top, we have our senior who will receive their gifts from the freshmen, or 8 freshmen. They're known as the harvesters on the boards. Then we have our juniors. Our juniors are our cheerleaders. They're super excited because they are next to be senior on the board. They're going to motivate our sophomore to go ahead and invite 2 people to the community to attach directly to them, who are known as our freshmen. Our freshmen are seed sowers. They're going to sow a seed into the life of our senior. And the Bible says that God loves a cheerful giver. The Bible also talks about planting seed on fertile ground. Our senior has plans to help their family, help themselves in this situation. Once you have gifted all 8, the boards will retire, or if you do the right first or the left fills up faster, the board will split in half. The freshmen on the bottom will now become sophomores. The sophomores on each side will become junior on their own board, and then the juniors will become the new senior. You only have to really build this one time, and then it becomes perpetual over and over. Showers of blessings on this community. Let's look at it. Very similar to the other one that I showed you. The numbers are a little different. On this side, you have an opportunity to receive 8 gifts of $100. That's $800. The first time around, you're going to take the first fruits of $400 and you're going to plant it into the hands of the senior on this $400 board. None of the first fruits belong to you. The first fruits of 400, 1,000, and 2,000 do not belong to you. They belong to the community. Please respect the law of order that we have here. Do not spend any of it. If you take it, You're stealing from the community, but you're stealing from yourself. You will be removed. You will forfeit your position in the community. We will vote you off the island. The last gift of 100 on the $100 board, you're going to plant that back into the soil so that you can reap a plentiful harvest again. This particular community says, take the first two, the two gifts from the 300, take 200 of that and pay it forward. Bring some new people into the community. But because we have the the feeder with the 25, the X gifting, piffing, the two is up to you. Now, what you can do is you can say, okay, you're on the feeder, you're just starting the 25 and you're working your way up. You've upgraded onto that board with the 100 and you want to come over here because you're in the United States and you want to just get here quickly. You can pay it forward to them. And when they have those gifts on the $25 board, now they can go ahead and give it back to you. Okay, we're going to work together. We're going to work united, not against one another. So that's 300 that you have a potential of receiving on the $100 level. On the $400 level, you have an opportunity to receive 8 gifts of 400. That's $3,200. You're going to take the first fruit of the $1,000 and you're going to gift it upwards to the senior on the $1,000 board. That opens a seat for you also on the $1,000 board. So guess what? Now you have the 100, the 400, and the $1,000 board working in tandem for you. You can receive $1,800 as a senior at the top of that board. And those 1,800 is to do whatever you want to do with it. You can pay your bill, whatever you named it, it's yours. On the $1,000 board, when you become a senior, you have an opportunity to receive 8 gifts of 1,000. That's $8,000. I don't know what's wrong. 8,000. And guess what? It started from $35 that you may have gone into Wally World, Target, and you spend it and you don't even know what you got, what you bought, what you did with it. You went to Starbucks and you drank it up. But now, if you plant it here in this fertile ground, it can be accounted for. Now, on the $1,000 board, you receive 8 gifts of $1,000, $8,000. The first fruits of your labor, the first fruits of planting in this community, helping, plowing, sowing. You're going to pass that 2,000 up to the senior on the next board. The last gift of 1,000, you're going to put it back into the soil so that you can reap a bountiful harvest yet again. $5,000, you can do whatever you want to do with it, whatever that purpose that you named it. On the $2,000 board, you have 8. You can receive up to 8 gifts of 2,000. That's $16,000. What are you going to do with that? You're going to take the last 2,000 in gifts and you're going to plant it back onto the $2,000 board so that you can reap a plentiful harvest over and over. Now you have $14,000 in your hands to do whatever you desire to do with it. That's $21,100 that you have received from this gifting activity on this board. Wow. Now let's talk about what happened to the gifts that you gave back into the soil. How does that work? You're going to become a senior again at the top of the board. You will receive 8 gifts of $100. You're going to plant 100 back in the last gift, but you have 700 to do whatever you want to do with it. On the $400 board, when you become a senior, you will receive 8 gifts of 400. Now you have an opportunity to possibly reap $3,200 to do whatever you want to do with it. You get to keep 2,800. The last 400 in gifts, you're going to plant it back into the soil to repeat the process again and again. On the $1,000 board, you have an opportunity to receive 8 gifts, which is $8,000. You will keep 7,000. You plant 1,000 back into the soil to repeat again and again. On the $2,000 board, you have an opportunity to receive $16,000 in gifts. 14,000 is yours to do as you desire. It's up to you what you're going to do with that. But you're going to plant back into the soil 2,000 to reap the harvest again. That's $24,500 in gifts. And guess what? You may have received these sitting on the couch. You may have received these while you're doing some retail therapy. It's coming to you by the sweat of your brow. No, you don't have to sweat for this, right? It's a blessing, it's a gift. The boards are the same as it were on the others. When they split down the middle, you continue to the next level, whether your right side or your left side. Here's a perfect example. The right side hadn't gotten started yet, but the left side was done. Are they going to have to wait for those other four to come on the board? Nope. The board is going to split down the middle. The freshmen are going to be sophomores on the next board. The sophomores are going to be junior. The two sophomores are now juniors. One of the juniors, Mr. John, who's now a senior on that board, giving time for the other side to continue to grow. Okay. And so when you come on the board, you may appear in red. That means that you have not yet been approved, you've not yet been confirmed, or maybe you just haven't sent your gift. But as soon as you come on the board, those gifts must be released out of your hand to the senior on the board. The names in black are those people who have not yet had an opportunity to invite others, or they're waiting to become sophomores on the board before they invite their personal two. When the name turns green, that means you've invited one or one has been gifted to you, attached to your name. When you are in blue, that means you've now received two persons attached to you. Now, with our community, as we say, we have the merry-go-round board that you can work and we fill from left to right as soon as you come in. But those who are builders are going to say, I have my two and I've listed them on the Google Doc. I need them to place directly under me once I hit the sophomore level. So when we see that you have two people listed on you on the Google Doc, we know that that's what you're saying. Okay. Or even so, you may say, I have my two, but that's all I have. So I still want to participate in the merry-go-round, but these are family or these are close friends. And I just want to make sure that they're following behind me on the same level. Okay. And then you're going to, when you're blue, that just tells everyone that you're blue, you have your two assigned to you or been gifted to you, and you're going to matriculate on through the community. On this particular community, it says, please do not leave the sophomore level in any other color than blue. But on the first one, it doesn't matter. You can go straight all the way through without even having somebody attached to you. But we're working together to make sure everyone is blessed through this process. This is my board that I had in 2020. I'm a repeat offender into the second platform that I'm sharing with you. These are my boards. In white, you have the number to the boards where it says retired. That just shows that all 8 gifts were received and we were matriculated through, and new seniors are now receiving. But those that you see that there's nothing there, that just means that they were somebody stole from the community, somebody didn't give forward, somebody had other intentions. We do not want that in this community. Now, there are 3 groups of people here. You have one group that says, I don't need any help. I'm going to do this by myself. So I don't need help from the community. Thank you. No, thank you. Well, you may decide that you hear somebody who's in need. Share this community with them. Group number 2 are those who says, I'm ready to do this, but I have a question. Group number 1 says, I'm ready to sow a seed. Get me started. I'm ready right now. So you want to get back to the person that invited you. There's a Google Doc in the chat. Go ahead and fill that out. It's a capture page. We'll capture your information. It will lead you to the Google Doc. Go ahead and fill that out and get back to the person and tell them that you're ready to sow a seed.